What's up, everybody, and welcome into today's video where we are talking about money. I was sent a podcast that I listened to, and they were talking about, are you the master of money or are you the slave of money? And it got me thinking, you know what, everybody? I've been the slave of money for many years. And I just started to become the master of my own money really within the last 2 years. I'm not ashamed to tell you. It took a while for this stuff to click with me. Hopefully it doesn't take that long to click with you. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing some ideas and some tips and some tricks and techniques to start to feel more wealth and abundance. Because when you feel more wealth and abundance, what you have inside is going to manifest on the outside. They talk about this in the Bible. They talk about the guy that already has is going to get more and live in abundance. The one who doesn't have, not only are they not going to get any more, but whatever they do have is going to get taken from them, right? It is an inner game that we are playing here on all levels. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is The Cream. We're a real estate investment channel. Talk a lot about real estate, but we also talk a lot and practice a lot of personal development because we know it's an inner game. And when you build these internal assets, your external assets, the houses are going to take care of themselves, ladies and gentlemen. The assets, the money's going to take care of itself. We got to start in here. We've got to work in here, right? So first and foremost, many of us, if not all of us, if you're watching this video, more than likely you were born this way. You were not born into money. In fact, you were born with a conditioning and programming that money is just this thing that's outside of you. They have it, but not us. And this is no fault to your parents. It's no fault to your teachers. This goes back thousands of years from back when there was kings and queens and pharaohs and emperors and royalty. People talk about wealth disparity, right? In our current society, they talk about the billionaires have the money and then there's everybody else. It used to be way worse. It used to be way worse because it used to be one family had everything. They lived inside the palace. And then everybody else lived outside the palace walls to fend for themselves. And essentially, everybody that lived outside those palace walls, if you're not in the family, you're out of the family. And everybody else essentially was a slave to that king or emperor on some level. The king or emperor got a piece of everybody's pie, right? So essentially, and it's kind of that way today when you think about it. You think about world powers and government and stuff like that. And, it is what it is. We're born into it. So we have to change the way that we think about money. We need to first believe and feel like we already have it. And how do we do that, right? We're going to talk about that. Now, a lot of times people are looking at money as if it's their God or if it's their devil. Let me explain. If somebody's willing to compromise their morality, if somebody's willing to compromise, hurt themselves, do some very shameful acts, right? If somebody's willing to hurt somebody else, compromise their conscience, their morals, they know in their heart this is not right, but they're still willing to do it, they are worshiping money at that point. If somebody's willing to compromise their morals, they are looking at money as a god. Or if they are looking at somebody who has money and just, yearning for it, just that desire, it's like, oh my God, this putting them on a pedestal, essentially worshiping people who have money, right? That in of itself, that is making you a slave to money. When you're looking at money like your God, right? When you're willing to compromise your integrity, hurt yourself or hurt somebody else, or you're worshiping essentially somebody that has money, you are the slave to money at that point. You are completely looking at it as outside of yourself. On the contrary, many people look at money as the devil, right? It's their devil, where it's like, oh, rich people are the root of all evil. Even you see in the movies and the Marvel movies and things like that. What is the villain? The villain is typically the rich guy. It's like living in the big building and it's this evil Bond 007 rich person, right? And a lot of that's conditioning and programming too. And if we believe that money is this evil thing, well, number one, we're going to block it from our life. Our subconscious is here to protect us, right? Our brain is here to protect us, and we're not going to let anything in if we think it's evil. So if we're looking at money like a god or our God and worshiping it, willing to do anything for it, or we're looking at it like this evil thing and they're the bad ones, the people who have money, that in of itself, that right there is you keeping money from your life. We mustn't do this. I'm going to share with you exactly how to look at money. It's going to help you. But that is essentially looking at money as being inside the palace walls and you being on the exterior of the palace walls. It's out here. It's this thing. It's either this God or this devil. We need to be neutral to all of that, right? Pay attention to that and ask yourself, is money your God or is money your devil, right? Do you kind of look at some rich people and say, oh, why do they have everything and I don't have enough? That's looking at money as the devil. Or are you saying, oh, I'll do anything, I'll say anything to get this deal, right? Or something like that. Yeah, money at that point is your God. You're worshiping it. You're compromising your own integrity for it, right? You don't need to. So how do we feel? Remember, like they say in the Bible, when you feel it, when you have it, the man that has it already is going to be given more and live in abundance. The man that does not have it, not only are they going to get everything taken from them, but they're not going to get anything new. So how do we essentially have money when we don't have money, when we don't have it in the physical? Well, we got to have it in here. So we got to have it in our feelings. The way you're going to be able to be receptive of money, to generate more money and attract more money and create more money in your life. First step is don't look at it like it's outside of you, like a God or a devil, right? You just got to look at it for what it is, and that's just a tool. Money is a tool. Money is a tool. To drive this point home, money is a tool. Money is a tool that you use to create value, assets, and wealth. This is the affirmation. Money is a tool that I use to create value, assets, and wealth. Money is a tool. Money is a tool. And it's how you use the money that's going to either generate more for you, and how you feel about the money that's going to either generate more for you or you're going to squander it away. So we must look at it as nothing more than a tool, first off, and then how do we have it already? How do we tap into the feeling of already having it? It's going to come from gratitude. It's going to come from gratitude. You need to look at your current life and it's got to be authentic too. You can't trick God, right? You can't fake it. I know people say you can fake it till you make it, but you can't, because you genuinely got to feel. You have to see the abundance that you're already living in. You have to look around and just see the abundance that's already in your life, the gratitude that's already in your life, like the massive abundance. Look at this cool room that I'm in. I work here in this big building here, and we have an office here, and they let us utilize these awesome rooms for videos and content and stuff like that. This is abundance. Everything's abundant. If you have a smartphone in your pocket, think of the trillions of dollars that's flowing through that phone. You might be thinking, what are you talking about? Well, everything is in the digital age. Everything is through radio waves and microwaves, and it's all intangible. Money is just this energy, this flow. You're connected to this network. You're connected to the social network. Where are you watching this video? Maybe YouTube, right? Well, YouTube's owned by Google. That's like $1 trillion business, right? You're connected already. Start to pay attention. It's like, all right, I'm already tapped in. Now I just need to be able to receive it. I need to receive it. We just got to work on our receiving muscles above all things. Number one, to be into the flow of receiving, you can't look at money like it's outside of you, like a God or a devil. We've already discussed that. Number two, you got to feel that you already have it. And the way you're going to do that is by feeling the abundance you have in your life right now, by looking where you can genuinely look and be like, damn, I'm grateful. I'm genuinely grateful. And really be grateful. I'm not talking about this flimsy gratitude. In fact, I did a video about this with my coaching clients. These gratitude exercises, I'm going to wake up every day and write down 10 things I'm grateful for. That's an exercise that draws very little to no emotion, energy and motion. A lot of times we're doing these gratitude exercises because we all kind of know, I think in our heart, that, gratitude is the bridge to get you from where you're at to where you want to be. Gratitude is so important, right? But then we find ourselves doing these kind of cheesy exercises where it's like, well, I'm going to write down 10 things I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for the dog. I'm grateful for the kids. I'm grateful for my wife. Yeah, these are unconditionals. You've got to write out and be grateful for things that draw emotion out of you. Emotion is the language of God, the way that you feel. It's not about just writing, I'm grateful for the dog. Yeah, you are, but there's no emotion coming from there. What's going to bring the emotion out of you is when you can genuinely be grateful. And it's got to be real, and it's got to be authentic, and it's got to be stuff in your current life. I don't care how good or bad things are for you right now. There's something going good for you. There's something to be excited about, right? So pay attention to what you already have and be insanely grateful. At your core, in your heart, be grateful for what you already have. And that's like the Bible verse talks about, that's you having it. Now you're open to receiving more, right? So this is all we got to do. We got to look at money as a tool, not a god or a devil, not this thing out here. It's just a tool that you're going to use to create value, assets, and wealth in your life. Think of it. When you have money, you are able to better yourself. And that's really your life's purpose, right? Your life's purpose, your soul's purpose is to be the best version of itself, right? That's why whenever we're doing anything that's out of alignment with the way our conscience is the authentic voice of God. When we're off the path, we feel shame. We feel regret. We do. You don't need me to tell you this. You feel it. So what we must do is remove anything that causes any form of shame, guilt, regret. I'm talking about everything, guys. Everything. You might be thinking, I don't have any shame. There's no shame for me. Yeah, you might not have a big 1,000-pound shame that you carry around. Like you murdered somebody, God forbid, and you're carrying the secret around. And no, I'm talking about the little shames, right? Drinking, the vices, you just feel a little shame. You know you shouldn't be doing it. Anything in your life that you're currently doing that you know you shouldn't be doing, we got to remove that immediately. Because that's your conscience telling you this is not part of your higher self. Your job, you have one job here, and that's to be in alignment and be your highest self, right? So when we remove the vices, we remove anything that takes us out of alignment, now we're massively in receiving mode. Now we can receive, now we're paying attention, right? And then we're not looking at money as something outside of us. We're feeling the abundance and gratitude right now in our heart, right? By paying attention to all the things that we genuinely already have in our life. Now you're at a high vibe now. You're at a high vibe. In fact, I encourage you all to go online, and David R. Hawkins, he's got this emotional vibrational scale. This guy's brilliant. Check that out. At the bottom of the vibrational scale, the emotional scale, feeling scale, emotions are feeling, energy and motion. What's the bottom of it? It's shame, guilt, and regret, embarrassment, right? Remorse. What's the highest vibrations? Abundance, love, gratitude. So we need to find that now. That is the equivalent of having it now. Therefore, you will be receptive of it. And God wants you to have it. God wants you to have all the resources you need to continue to stay on the path of being the best version of yourself. That's the mission here, is to be the best version of yourself and then inspire others to be the best versions of themselves. Inspire. In spirit. You ever know that's where that came from? So let's be the best versions of ourselves by staying in alignment with our higher selves, removing anything that brings us any form of shame, guilt, regret, embarrassment, right? Remorse, anything like that. Heal yourself. Heal your past. What have you done in the past where maybe you screwed somebody over, you did something bad, you did something shady? Well, guess what? You're a new person now. Today's a new day. We must heal from that. And you must look at that as your old self. That's my old self, right? Make amends. Heal yourself. You are a brand new person today, right? We are going to find everything that we are grateful for. We are not going to look at money as this thing outside of us. We're going to look at, we already have it. We already got it, right? So, with that being said, the way you feel directly correlates to the amount of money you will have. Let's feel grateful here in the present moment. This is the most powerful time, is the present moment. It is the cutting edge, the leading edge of all of the creation for your life is right here in this present moment. The past is gone. We must not feel shame or regret about the past. We must heal from the past. You must say to yourself, thank God that happened to me in the past because that made me who I am here today, right? We must stay in alignment in the present moment by dropping anything that causes us any form of shame, guilt, regret, or embarrassment. We must stay in alignment with things that feel good, and you're going to feel good in the present moment by finding everything in the present moment that you are grateful for. And you're going to have a vision for your life, and you're going to let your heart pull you towards that vision. That's your higher self, right? The more money that you attract into your life and create and earn in your life is just going to further you on the path in being the best version of yourself. And what is our goal? To be the best version of ourselves and then to share that individual with the world to inspire others to be the best version of themselves. I love you all. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Hit me up in the comments and I'll see you on the next video.